Okay guys, recently one of you have asked me that when we should use a single plate shear key and when we should use a cross plate shear key. Okay, so this video is going to be all about the use of shear key, and if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe, and also if you would like to extend your love and support towards this channel, you can join. Okay, so at the very first, assuming that you are a beginner, what is a shear key? So shear key is something like this. You can see it just below the base plate. Okay, so let's say you have a steel structure, and in steel structure, you will have to use some column, and this column is actually rest on a base plate, and eventually this base plate is supported over a pedestal like this, and this base plate is actually anchored with the pedestal with the help of this anchor bolt. Okay, and sometime in addition to this anchor bolt, here you will be able to see a steel element like this one, and this is known as your shear key. Don't worry, I will discuss why this shear key is used in addition to this anchor bolt. You might think, well, I am using this anchor bolt to hold this base plate or this column with the foundation, then why we need to use this plate? Okay, well, you will get the answer. And in actual cases, this shear key is placed on this groove. Well, this is the pedestal. Just after the casting of the pedestal, it looks something like this. Here you can see something like a plus sign, and this plus sign is actually the groove where the shear key will be inserted. And as you are casting with concrete, this groove will be maintained by using some thermocol. Okay, so once your casting is complete and the fabrication is complete, then this is inserted within this groove. Now the question is, why we need to use a shear key? As the name suggests, it is a shear key. Okay, so something is related to shear. So well, if you have a column like this and it is attached with this foundation with the anchor bolt here, then the purpose of using this anchor bolt is normally to carry the tension. Okay, and we have to ensure also that if there is some sort of shear load, and normally every structure is associated with some amount of lateral load, that is why this shear load will be generated at the base of the column. So to transfer this shear load, we also have to design this anchor bolt. But if this lateral load is very high, in that case this anchor bolt alone may not be sufficient to carry this shear load. The anchor load may be sufficient to carry the tensile load, but it may not be sufficient to carry the shear load. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to use some extra plate like this, okay, to carry this shear. So eventually, if this is your column, the shear force transfer from column to this base plate, then from this base plate to this shear key. So this is the shear key. It will carry the shear force and it will transfer to the adjoining pedestal or foundation. Correct? So now I think you have got the answer why we need to use the shear key. Now the question is, why single shear key and why your double shear key? And in this picture, well, this was the double shear key, and here when you are using a single plate, in that case this is known as single plate shear key. So let's try to find out the answer why we should use sometimes single shear key and sometimes double shear key. Okay, so now it is clear to you. Let's say we have lateral load like this in a structure, and to transfer this lateral load we are using a bracing like this. So it will be transferred from this node to this foundation through this bracing. So in this node, if you find out the forces, you will have an inclined force like this, and this is the column. So this is the column, this is the bracing, and this is the pedestal. So in this location, you will have a vertical force and a horizontal force. Why? Just because of this force coming through the bracing. Because if we resolve this, we will have horizontal component and a vertical component. So this horizontal component is nothing but the shear force. So to carry this shear force, assuming the lateral load is very high, we need to use shear key. But in this case, the single shear key is sufficient because this shear load is being applied from unidirection. Okay, and here you can see, well, let me erase, well, here. So this was our picture and this was lateral load. In this joint, we will have shear force like this, which is being applied, let's say here. This is the shear force. In this case, the load is being applied from right hand side. So this shear key is actually transforming this lateral load or distributing this lateral load within this foundation. Here you can see the anchor bolt are not distributing it. The shear key itself distributing this. So these are actually your failure plane, and based on that you have to provide your reinforcement in plan as well as in section. So this is the failure plane here. The failure plane has been started from this joint. Not only that, you also have to ensure this shear key. Okay, if you watch it from the side, it will look something like this, and this is fixed with the base plate. So due to the shear force, it will have some bending moment at its base, right, like this. So here you will have some bending moment. So you have to ensure the thickness is sufficient to carry this bending moment, and also you have to ensure that it has the capacity to carry the shear itself. Now question is, when we need to use the double shear key instead of single shear. Here we have only bracing in a single plane. But what about if we have bracing in both the plane? That means, let's say this is the structure. Okay, we have bracing in this direction as well as, well, these are the foundation, as well as we have bracing in this direction. Shear key like this. This is the single shear key case. Now in addition to this, you also have to use another shear key like this. Now it looks something like the plus sign. Previously I have shown you before just after casting the pedestal and before the fabrication, how the groove looks like. The groove looks like plus sign because of this. In this case, you have to use double shear key, and the plate looks something like this. In many cases, we normally use simply we weld an I section like this. Instead of using two plate, we simply use the I section. The purpose is same and the problem is also solved. Now I think you have got your answer when you have to use single and when you have to use double shear key. And if you like this video, don't forget to share it.